Well, hello Flosstube. It's been a while since I've recorded a video and I thought, well, I may as well try and see if I can get the hang of it again. I am stitching on Avarice. It's one of the 7 deadly sins patterns charted by Haid, and the art is from Marta Dalig. I have started the first row of 2 stacked blocks, and I'm stitching sort of the Royal Rose method, going from left to right in, well, not exactly the towers as described in the Royal Rose method, but I'm a bit of a rebel, so I go a little further than the blocks and just beyond the tower. And I park both below in the dungeon and to the right. And for today I thought, well, maybe 4 towers is enough to try. So I am keeping a straight line over here and see if I can get that filled in today. I've already stitched away all the parked threads that were in here before, so this area is filled with that. And I'm now going to fill some other colors, of which there were no parked threads. So I'm gonna start with the first one. I've got my pattern keeper over here, so that well, I don't know, that part of the pattern I could show maybe, but I am just going to stitch a little of those colors. I've got my magnifier over here and I have to look through that to be able to see the stitches myself, so I hope I can keep a setup where everything is still visible and I can also manage to see where I'm going. So I've got some curly thread, so I'm just going to use a little damp sponge, which isn't damp anymore. So I'm just gonna add some water to it. It's all it takes. To relax the thread enough to be able to stitch it. It's still a little damp, but that will be gone after a few stitches. I start my threads with the catch the tail method. I can try to zoom you in a little bit closer, so I leave a little bit of a tiny bit of thread over there. Now start in the most right stitch, make the half stitch and come up again, trying to catch that tail. So I've caught it, give it a little tug and the thread is secured, and with the next stitch I'm going to wiggle down the tail. Zoom you back out a bit again so you can see more of the stitching. Oh, that doesn't. I think this is right. So I'm going all the way across until I reach the far end of the fourth tower I selected for my stitching today. So this is the last stitch of that color over here in this tower. And I've got a few more over here. And since the area here isn't stitched, it has to be stitched, I think it's okay to travel this far because the thread at the back will be stitched over. And then this one. I think I will, oh no, I can park it below. So I park this one in the dungeon. It's a bit of a distance, but again, it will be stitched over, so it's okay. So I'm gonna mark off these stitches and mark the parked one as well. I tend to forget that a lot of times, and then a big surprise. Oh, I've got a parked thread. I have to look. Is it parked right? Is it the right color? And so if I mark them off, I will trust myself that it's parked right. Yeah, next color. And again, the catch the tail method to start my thread. Oh, catch the tail, and I didn't. So you have to stick the needle upwards, and then this one you have to really try and catch that thread. And now it's caught and it's secured enough. So, and now I can wipe away the little tail at the back. Normally I would have my stand a little bit closer to the edge of the desk, and I have more room to move my arm, but it wouldn't record. It was not the right setup for my phone, my camera. So I had to slide it a little to the back of away from the edge of the desk. And all these colors are stitched, and I can park it in the next tower. And I'll keep my threads away from my stitching by hanging them over a needle minder. And yeah, well, I think that stitching in this way, just doing a few, max 4 towers at the same time, will prevent getting stitching lines between the towers. So it's just a little bit of going over all the edges of between the two towers. The rest of the stitches I will park below if there's nothing in the next tower, or if I would have to travel a real long way under a stitched area, then I would park below, but just a few parked threads to the next tower will get that connection. I tend to call them bridges between the two towers, and will prevent getting stitching lines. I really like this way of stitching because it's keeping the stitching very dense, and you can really see some progress and seeing the image emerge in your stitching. When you're doing cross-country, well, this is a little bit cross-country, across a few towers it is, so let's call it cross-castle. Then you don't have all that scattered stitches, like I call that unicorn sneeze, all over the place in all kinds of colors. And that's what I don't like. Something I also take in my stitching method is I do not like to end my threads and getting them back on my floss organizer, on my floss cards. That takes a lot of time, so I prefer stitching away a full thread in a certain area, small area, not too big. And if I can't use up the full thread, then I will park. And I will do, well, not anything. You always have some colors that run out, symbols that run out while you still have thread. Then I will get it back on my organizer. But yeah, I like to stitch, not doing all the hustle with getting the floss back where it doesn't belong. It belongs in my stitching. So that's a little insight in the way I'm stitching, and I hope to record some more Stitch With Me videos in the near future. I won't be away from Flosstube very long anymore, and maybe will at some time tell you the story behind my long hiatus in recording for Flosstube. Maybe I won't, and I'll see you back anyway. So happy stitching. Bye bye for now.